My son in a Sunday school setting, and one of the teachers came to me and he was being disruptive, and she said, we're really having a hard time with him today. And she just kind of blurts out the autism word. As a parent, I remember just feeling like, how dare she say that word to me, and I'm just being real. So what I did is I went home and got online and started checking things out, and I put some of his symptoms in there, like he hits himself a lot. As soon as we had the IEP with the teachers and the occupational therapists and the psychologists, they basically started shoving the paperwork our way. I saw the big words autism there. But I was fortunate that the very next day I met you. You were the only person that has asked me questions that are off the checklist. And we went through that with the school district. This long checklist, and I remember we were both on the phone trying to answer these questions, but they were never as specific as the ones that you gave.
This is Owen. So we're looking forward to working with you next week.
Can you say thank you?
Thank you.
Okay, see you next week, Owen.
See you next week, Quan.
As Owen had been kicked out of 3 preschools for not being able to line up and follow directions, Laura decided to teach him just that. He was never going to be able to function in a classroom if he could not follow simple commands and rules. But 3 different schools had tried to get him to follow instructions and failed.
We've tried some programs at home that he is not interested in at all, and this was something that he looked at and thought, this is such a neat program. And he sat there longer than I've seen him sit at a computer chair ever. When Owen came out of the room to go meet the kids, I saw a difference in him because his face was lit. I could tell he was stimulated by what he just experienced, and I could tell there was a level of confidence because he understood.
Sit down. Stand up.
He knew exactly what to do. He lined up and did the whole routine, and he was just so happy, and I just remember lots of laughter, and we were laughing at him, and it was just a really neat experience to see what he had learned in just an hour's time. It doesn't matter what sequence we put it in, he remembers it. He remembers to sit, he remembers to stand up. He has been watching the preposition video every night, and he's learned so much from that. And
I think his favorite word now is beside. Beside.
Beside.
It's very cute. So it was neat tonight. He actually asked me, Daddy, what are you doing? And I told him I was stirring the water. It was neat. He did translate, Dad, what are you doing?
But this is more than what he's learned in the last 6 months in a program that he's at in school. If someone were to tell me that this program was no longer going to be offered for us, I don't know what I would do. I would be in a state of panic. So far, in 1 week, this has worked so much for us, and if it wasn't there anymore, I would not have the hope that I have right now for Owen.
Welcoming a child into this world can be a moment filled with joy, and it was for Rebecca Starr as she gave birth to her son, Owen. But it was 3 years later when doctors diagnosed Owen with autism that Rebecca's world came crashing down.
And when I heard that word, I honestly felt like there was a death sentence over my son.
Faced with a monumental challenge to get Owen to learn at the pace of his peers, Rebecca eventually turned to Laura Kasbar and Gemiini.
She was at my house that day, and she spent the whole day with us and just gave me so much insight and so much hope for my son in one day.
After 3 years of Gemiini therapy, he's able to carry on a conversation like any 6-year-old, especially if it's about playing on the playground.
The swings, I have free slides and 100 swings.
Of course, the playground always seems a bit bigger when you're 6, and what little hope parents once held on to are now endless possibilities and a bright future.
Turn it on.